Chad, it is time. It's playoff time for the San Jose Sharks. For just the second time in this run, we previously made the playoffs against the not against the Calgary Flames, against the Vancouver Canucks, and we lost. It wasn't great. I didn't have a very good time, but maybe this year will be different because we did kind of go all in at the deadline, although that hasn't necessarily worked out so far, right? So that sucks, but we're going to see, right? We're going to see what happens. I'm going to send down Link Gates to help out the AHL team for the playoffs, by the way. But I'm hoping and hopeful that even though we're not truly one of the best in the league, even though we are, that this team will have enough to push through and get something done here. I'm not saying if we win a Stanley Cup in this run that's it, although who knows, maybe, because that is typically our stopping point is once we win, but we'll see, right? We'll see. So in terms of the lines for the playoffs, we have a couple of things that need to be changed. And the primary thing is I do want to run Dave Gagne on the fourth line instead of Jason Allison because Dave Gagne was trash once we acquired him at the deadline. And as a fourth line grinder, that's a pretty good spot for him. I think we want to keep Ralston on the top line with Gretzky and Shanahan. Defensively, sorry to Sandish the Mandish, but we are going to swap you out. I was wondering if there was a way. Natras is best for the third line. He's best for the second. There we go. So Pronger, Berhowski, Iafrate, Moran, Ozolinsh, Natras gets every line a little bit of chemistry. Not that I'm too confident in chemistry. For the goaltending, Felix Potvin has won the starting spot based on his post-deadline performance. Hobby Bullen will be the backup. Byron Defoe is the odd man out at the moment. Our AHL club looking for their fourth straight Calder Cup, which would be absolutely insane. They are pretty well stacked. We do want to take out Dallas Eakins for Tony Ludman, and Link Gates will actually be a scratch for Tamander. But that right side, we also need to take out Doug Huda for Brian Rafalski. And if we can avoid a -1, we should. But I don't think we can. Oh, there we go. All right, Tamander, Donnelly, Richardson, Rafalski, Ludman, Rouse. There we go. Goaltenders, Kevin Weeks and Martin Gerber. We're good to go. Both teams, championship aspirations. We're up against the Calgary Flames in round number 1. They look like that. Gary Roberts, Joe Nieuwendyk, and Theo Fleury as a top line. Andre Lamakin, Robert Reichel, and Mike Ridley on the second. And I'm Craig Simpson with Vladimir Ruzicka, Rob DeMaio, Dave Archibald, Claude Lapointe, and Paul Ranheim on the fourth line. It's a pretty good team. Pretty good team. The defense is Gary Suter and Al McInnes. That's not good. Savan Cote and Peter Svoboda. Gerald Didick and Marty physically assault you, somehow not get arrested, McSorley. The goaltender, Dominic Hasek. Again, he didn't turn into the Dominator as we know him, but whew. All right, this is going to be an interesting one as we look for our first ever playoff series victory. And again, Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago, and now the Dallas Stars. Of course, the North Stars have moved. Vancouver, LA, San Jose, Calgary. It is Montreal, Colorado. Again, Quebec would have moved by now. Boston, Buffalo, Devils, Islanders, Penguins, and Rangers. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. It is game number 1 on home ice. It's the Calgary Flames. Can we win our first playoff series in franchise history? First period is goalless. That's okay. Held him to 6 shots. That's pretty good. Second period. Well, they put up 19 shots in that period and scored on 3 of them. 2 times for Joe Nieuwendyk and 1 for Mike Ridley. It is 3-0 Flames as they beat the ever-loving crap out of us in that second period. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to recover. A brutal way. Wayne Gretzky does score on the power play, his first goal in the playoffs as a Shark. It ruins the Hasek shutout. Too little. Too late. Shanahan with 12 seconds left, but it does not matter. 3-2 the final score as Calgary takes game 1 off of a fantastic performance from Joe Nieuwendyk. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. It's got to be a short leash for Potvin. It's got to be. Hobby Bulin will get the start in game 2. Felix, you got to win this one, buddy. You got to win this one. I'm going to trust you. One more time. Game 2. Felix, we need you. First period. Goalless again. I don't know if that benefits us or hurts us. Second period. Well, we can't blame Felix this time, can we? We're tied. Still. Heading into the third. Shots are close. Could be next goal wins. Brendan Shanahan scores from the old school Rask spot. The middle of goddamn nowhere. Ruzicka makes it 1-1, though. Colin, no idea. 6 minutes left. Joe Juno makes it 2-1. So we try to at least avoid losing both games on home ice to start the series, and we will. Joe Juno is the hero. As we win 2-1, a phenomenal game for both goaltenders, but even more so for the Cat as we get the win. Very, very good. Very, very good. Shout out to Joe Juno, man. He's had a good series so far. So 1-1 split. Don't think there's too much to change. Jesus Christmas. Vancouver is pumping Los Angeles, so we know the road to the final goes through Pavel Bure. Game 3 in Calgary. First period. 2-0 Flames. Colin, you probably should. Al McInnes and Paul Ranheim. Not great, Felix. Not great. Second period. Still 2-0 Calgary. I mean, we can't blame Felix all that much when the team in front of him cannot score. 3-0 Flames. Theo Fleury. Damn it. Yeah, Calgary is going to take a 2-1 series lead. Again, we can't even necessarily blame Felix. Dominic Hasek shuts the door and shuts out the Sharks. A 31 save performance. Now down 2-1 in the series, and yeah, we might have to consider a few changes as we have 4 goals in 3 games. So we definitely need to make a change. With Pavel Datsyuk, I read it in chat. He's not getting called up yet. Felix Potvin's staying. Like, I know we haven't necessarily gotten the results, but it's not his fault. That second pairing of Moran and Iafrate hasn't quite worked. We're going to bump up Natras. For the forwards, the first line's not getting it done. Honestly, I mean, yeah, as you would expect, the points have been rough for everybody. So Shanahan, Gretzky, Falloon, Naslin, Juno, Ralston. We'll go Eliash, Gagne, Burnaby, Simon, Allison, Doan. All power forwards on that fourth line, but we'll see what's up. The AHL team, by the way, looks like a 2... no, they're up 3-1. Not even a 2-2 split. Datsuk has 7 points in 4 games. We got a game number 4. I mean, this is a must-win, or we're down 3-1 in this series. First period. Another goalless effort for us. Second period. 2-1 Calgary. Nieuwendyk and McInnes both on the power play. Gretzky gets his second goal of the series, also on the power play, but we trail heading into the third. Just can't score consistently on Hasek. Chris Pronger finds the back of the net to tie this game. Robert Reichel makes it 3-2. Marcus Naslund has tied the game. We're going to overtime in game 4, and we're actually going to jump in and watch this because if we lose this game, that is pretty much the series over and done with. So we will see the team in action for the first time. And I don't know, do we run? Because at the time, this would have been the away jersey. Let's do it as it would have been at the time. Calgary, they have their, like, a Ginla era look. It's not perfect to what they had, but we'll go ahead and rock the 06-07 for them. So, let's see what happens. The boys need a win, or they are in a horrible spot. Let's do it. Game 4, Flames up 2-1 in the series. The Suter stripped of the puck by Barahowski. Balloon across to Brendan Shanahan. Now Gretzky tried to walk through. Hasek gets off the pads. Roberts nowhere to go. Finds Suter. We could have rocked the reverse stretch. It's not a big deal. Gretzky to Falloon and a glove save by Hasek. Good effort to start. Or our top line. They're playing like it. And I hate how they have that big-ass banner that doesn't fucking exist and hasn't existed for a long time. Gretzky versus Nieuwendyk. They have destroyed us on the draw, and they win another one. Suter finds space. Gary Roberts to Nieuwendyk. Stopped by Hobby Bullen. McInnes, another save. Yo Fleury loses it to Pronger. Balloon to Shanahan. Shanahan just fucking winds up and fires. Misses wide. Theo Fleury. It didn't take long, did it? Joe Nieuwendyk wins it for Calgary. They're up 3-1 here in the first round.
That's a beautiful goal. How about the pass?
Fleury, the one-timer for Nieuwendyk. Number 5 was that Iafrate. It was Rick Natras. Just got caught in no man's land. Third man in, Nieuwendyk. Wide open. Calgary. One win away from the second round. We had some chances. Couldn't seal the deal. What's up, by the way? Down 3-1. And what we thought might be kind of an emergence for us this season feels like we would have lost any sort of progress that we had made. Said Hobby Boolin before because of the blue pads. It was still Felix Potvin, and he's still going to stay in. He's been great. Iafrate has been horrific. Ian Moran hasn't been great either. And I'm not afraid to take Iafrate out because he was, quite frankly, doing terribly since we acquired him. So we're going to take Iafrate out of this lineup. And is there anybody else who really doesn't deserve their spot anymore? Fourth line's done absolutely nothing. Gagne's done absolutely nothing. Elias has struggled. I hate to say it, but the vast majority of our deadline pickups probably aren't hanging around in this lineup. It's a tough call. And Shane Doan's had a pretty bad series. We're going to send down Shane Doan. And we're going to call up. Let's go with Jonas Höglund. Shatan might still make it, but Höglund's going to get the call up. Chris Simon hasn't done much. That's where Miro Shatan gets the call up. And then Dave Gagne has been a complete non-factor ever since he originally got the call-up. Allison hasn't been great either. Datsuk and Damon Lankow. I'm a little bit nervous about calling up Datsuk because of what we saw with X Factors and Marcus Naslund, who should have had gold this whole time. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Our season is on the line after all. 4 points for Juno. 3 points for Gretzky. And that is going to call for a really, really bold set of moves here. Shatan, Lankow, Höglund, Elias, Gretzky, Barnaby. And Pat Falloon hasn't done anything either. I am willing to throw whatever I possibly can at the wall here. Out of pure desperation. We're going to reunite Shanahan and Juno with Jonas Höglund. Naslund, Datsuk, Ralston. Shatan, Gretzky, Falloon. Elias, Lankow, Barnaby. Defensively, I think I'm all right with Pronger and Barahowski. Ozelinch, Rouse, Richardson, Natras. Goaltender is still going to be Felix Potvin. I mean, he has been the best goalie since the deadline. We'll go best lines in the AHL. Needless to say, they just got some boosts to their available options. Al Iafrate. Don't think he's going to want to come back after this, but yeah. We'll see what happens with them. And then I just want to double check that there isn't somebody super duper important, and there isn't. Goaltenders, Weeks, and Gerber. Okay. Desperate times called for desperate measures. We're down 3-1 in the series, back on home ice. Let's see if it's over for us. Incredibly early this year. First period, 2-0 Sharks. We finally found a way to score. It's Marcus Naslund, and on the power play, Wayne Gretzky nearly in identical spots. There we go. We see an early return to those line shuffles. Second period, doesn't matter. Calgary battles back. 2 goals for Theo Fleury, one of them being shorthanded. We go to the third with our season on the line. Is it over? Is it Over. Wayne Gretzky on the power play. 3-2. Gary Roberts grabs the lead, or ties it as they try to grab the lead on the power play. They can't. 1:44 to go. Our season is on the line. We must win, or it's GG's, and we go home. And, well, the alternate people were clamoring for is not... Oh, that one's available. At least. It's not bad. We'll put them in those. Calgary should have that reverse retro, too. Ah, it doesn't work. One of us won't be able to wear it. And in that case, fuck them. We're wearing it. Let's do it. Season on the line. Must win game.
Late goings of this third period of play. For those of you just tuning in now,
1:44 to go in regulation.
And now it's over to England.
Rouse over. Not sure who has the puck right now. Suter to Roberts. Gary to Gary. Roberts for Fleury. Fleury over. Great glove save by Popman. We're not even in the 1-3-1, but it certainly acted like it because we got ripped apart there. Juneau versus Nieuwendyk. The battle of the Joes. Nieuwendyk wins it. Suter, shot block, great effort. Suter again. Blocker saved by Popman. Drake Barahowski. Shanahan, nowhere to go. Juneau as well. It's stopped. Penalty called against the Sharks. Calgary will go to the power play if they need it. And they'll get it with 1:02 to go. Joe Juneau for tripping in a scenario where our season is on the line.
Calgary's got a big opportunity on the power play here.
Doesn't look good. Pavel Datsuk on the face-off. They called him up from the AHL where he was the leading scorer for Kansas City. Shot blocked. Suter to Archibald. Broken up. Suter blocked. Eliash takes it ahead. Gonna try to be aggressive here. Short-handed, apparently. Eliash can't hold on to it. Ruzicka has it poked away by Datsuk. Now Eliash looking to carry back in. Battling for it. Archibald comes up with it. And I can't believe Deke was streaming as late as he was. Suter. Simpson saved by Popman. And covered. 40th shot of the game. Oh, man. If I can get the defense to chill the hell out here. Natras has trouble. What a block there. I think that was Barahowski in front. Might have been Richardson. Nieuwendyk can't pick the corner. Jesus Christ. Man, we are playing with fire. Ralston on the draw. He's out there with Shanahan. They continue to dominate on the draw. Gary Roberts in front. They score. Theo Fleury. Absolutely horrific defense as nobody defended the front of the net. 55-6. Just giving each other some love taps as Fleury sneaks in front. Didn't even have to sneak. It was wide open. An awesome season for us. But now we need a miracle here in 12 seconds. Calgary win another face-off. Shatan has it. Miroslav Shatan to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky can't get the pass. Falloon shoots it wide. And that'll do it. The Calgary Flames eliminate the San Jose Sharks in 5 games.
And look at the smile.
I sat down tonight thinking this would be our final season. I was very wrong. As we still have, from the looks of it, a long way to go.
That were for them, not against them, and with every boo, they just rallied around it and found
Theo Fleury
and that's mental tenacity.
off the feed from Gary Roberts. Absolutely horrific team defense. We were outplayed again.
Goodbye here from ringside tonight. From all of us here at EA Sports, I'm James Kowalski.
And we get bounced. And that puts us into a very, very weird spot. I mean, obviously, we know certain players that underperformed. We had seen a lot of the stats. A lot of guys got sent down. Shout out to Herd Fan, by the way. Thank you for the 19 months. We wasted a pretty damn good goaltending effort from Felix Potvin. 1 point amongst defenders that stayed in the lineup, 4 out of the 6. Obviously, Rouse and Richardson each got a chance to play in Game 5. Speaks for itself. Obviously, we were paying enough attention to the team. You kind of know what the issues were, but that is brutal. We're going to call Iafrady and Moran back up. Just because I don't want them to not get credit for being where they needed to be. Same reason we're going to send Hoagland and Shatan back down. It puts us into a very interesting spot for the upcoming season in terms of who stays, who goes. I mean, with someone like Gretzky, do we bring him back for another season? Kind of depends on the status of Pavel Datsyuk, really. How much he develops. I mean, we might have to take this a little bit more slow and steady than we wanted. But to have certain guys that we picked up at the deadline, Iafrady, Dave Gagne, to have those guys struggle as much as they did was brutal. I mean, they're struggling, and then there is struggling, and they struggled. So, for the record, with our AHL team in Kansas City, they are moving on to the next round. And we'll see now with Datsyuk back in the AHL if it can be a 4th straight Calder Cup for Kansas City as they play Indianapolis in round number 2. And obviously, even though we took Iafrady off of that team, yeah, they are just steamrolling Indy. Indy avoids the sweep. Indy forces Game 7. No, thank God. I had to throw it out there. So they draw Kalamazoo in the conference final. It's a 1-1 split. Make that 2-1. Now 2-2. Up 3-2. And for, I believe, the 3rd year in a row, it is Adirondack and Kansas City for the Calder Cup. I'm fairly certain it's now 3 times in a row that we've drawn the Red Wings AHL affiliate, which is fucking insane. We've beaten them twice in a row. Can Pavel Datsyuk make it 3 in a row against Adirondack and 4 straight titles? We lose game 1, 6-0. Oh boy. Adirondack might finally get their revenge. The 4-peat may be dead. We'll turn it over to Gerber. Is the dream of the 4-peat dead? We're down 3-0. We win game 4, 7-0, but there it is. There will not be a 4-peat for the 3rd time we saw a final between Kansas City and Adirondack, and third time was the charm for the Adirondack Red Wings as they finally defeat the Blades to win the Calder Cup, while the Calgary Flames went all the way and won the thing. We could not make it 4 straight titles. Adirondack finally got their revenge. 4 straight Calder Cups would have been absolutely insane. And it just wasn't meant to be. NHL-wise, you see there, second round, it ended up being Detroit and Chicago. Chicago won that. Calgary swept Vancouver. Buffalo beat Colorado, and the Islanders beat the Penguins. From there, Calgary beat Chicago, Islanders beat the Sabres, and Calgary beat New York in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Zach, what's up? I slept a lot on the 4th of July. So, the Calgary Flames, we're obviously well familiar at this point with their roster. It's back-to-back, by the way. I didn't even remember. Again, it's been a few days since we've played this, but I didn't even remember they won last year's title. So, back-to-back cups for the Calgary Flames. As you see, the first 5 seasons worth of champions there. Wow. Alex Mogilny won the Art Ross for the first time in this timeline. He also won the Hart Trophy for the first time. Al McInnes wins his second Norris, second in 5 years. Mogilny won the Bing. The Calder did go to Patrick Elias. That is our 3rd Calder winner in 4 seasons. Of course, Whitney is no longer on the team, but we do have Ralston and Elias. Gary Roberts won the Conn Smythe. It was Theo Fleury last year. Vezina Trophy to Chris Osgood for the first time. Let's see, the Jack Adams to Vancouver's coach. Selke goes to Adam Oates. 5 years in a row, Adam Oates has won the Selke. That's insane. Ted Lindsay Award to Mogilny. Rocket Richard to Paul Correa for the very first time. In the AHL, again, it was not meant to be. There will be no 4-peat as the Adirondack Red Wings get their first win. I believe that's Doug Armstrong with the most points. He was also league MVP. Someone, I don't know who Bus is. I don't know who that is, but he scored the most goals. Pavel Datsyuk was the top rookie, joining Patrick Elias and Jason Allison as previous winners for our team. I believe it's Per Juice was the top defenseman. Top goaltender, Hrivnak, who probably won the... No, he actually didn't win MVP. It was Van Allen, the former Shark. So, no Stanley Cup for us. No 4-peat of the Calder Cup. Puts us in a really weird spot now, heading into this next season. Gretzky's deal is up. Bunch of RFAs. Natras is a UFA. Gretzky is in pretty steady decline. We're going to have some tough choices to make over kind of who we want to be leading this team in the future. And again, we don't exactly have an exciting draft coming up because there's no, recreated real players, as Carolina has the number 1 pick, as I believe this is the year Hartford moves. So there you go. See, Glenn Anderson's gone, Bobby Smith, Brian Propp, Mike Eagles, Dave Christian, amongst others. Of course, Marco Casper, that fell out the database. Dave Babbage is gone, Mark Howe, Gord Donnelly, and in goal, Clint Malarchuk. Okay. So we weren't really affected by retirements. Mark Howe became a scout for Vancouver. So we are going to go through the draft here. Does anybody want to trade their pick? No, they don't. So the biggest thing right now, is there a franchise-altering player available for less than what they should be available for? Ryan Smolinski's out there. Relatively dirt cheap, because it would be his signing rights. So let's take inventory here. Ryan Smolinski. Someone we might want to keep an eye on. Wood's too old. Calgary not losing anybody. Shout out the Bulldogs for the 8 months on the primer. Bulldogs, welcome back. You just missed a heartbreaking loss. Those guys are still going to be tough to get. Larmer's 36. Jelena's not bad, but Colorado isn't going to lose anybody great for cheap. It sucks. Dallas trying to move Courtnall, Dallas Drake, but they don't really fit what we're looking for right now. Darian Hatcher's a lefty. That doesn't really work either. Mike Gartner, Igor Larionov's 36. Edmonton trying to move Malakoff, but we're kind of good on that left side-ish. There aren't many great answers out there on the market right now. Unfortunately. Hello, Mr. Raptors. Imagine what that means after a few days away, huh? Let's see, Bernie Nichols out there. Okay, Bobby Holik. Bobby Holik. That is not a bad option. If we wanted to go with someone like Bobby Holik instead of Wayne Gretzky, which seems insane, I know, but context is key. They also have Bill Guerin for dirt cheap, although I don't think we need a right wing. The Islanders, King, Thomas, Curvers, they're all old. Not looking to move Ziggy Palffy. Rangers aren't going to lose anybody. Send Steve Ruchin. Ruchin? Steve Ruchin wouldn't be bad as a third liner. We can make note of that. Carolina is about to make their selection. And some dude named Anderson. Again, no recreated players left. Unfortunately. Back to Ottawa really quickly. There's really nobody else to get. Philly, Rod Brindamore is currently without a contract. That would certainly be the type of guy to get right about now. Excuse me. Couldn't fight off that sneeze. I tried. I fought like hell, goddammit. Brindamore would be amazing. Pittsburgh, nobody major. St. Louis, Seibert, Emerson, Donato. Some of these guys aren't bad at like 28 years old, but I think we have higher aspirations. I think we do. Tampa. Nobody that really fits the bill. Toronto. Nobody that fits the bill. Vancouver. Pavel Bure. That is the cheapest he will possibly be in terms of acquiring his rights. And he's still going to be expensive as shit. But that is the cheapest he'll ever be. And if we were to ever make a move for him, now would be the right time. Washington, I mean, Dahlin obviously would go for Bure instead. They already re-signed Pavanka and Gonchar. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward here. We got to figure out what we want our depth chart to be. I don't know what the hell we're doing in goal for this next season. Not a damn clue. If we can get anything for these guys, we probably should. I mean, Potvin was good. But I think I'm over Hobby Bulin, unfortunately. So if we were to trade Hobby Bulin, most we could get is a 4th rounder. Which I gotta be honest, I'm willing to do. We'll send Hobby Bulin to Montreal. Byron Defoe, can't get anything for him. Deepest draft class in the last 30 years, 2003. We'll let Arizona make their pick. Take a dude named Sanders, the Colonel. So defensively, we still have Iafrate under contract, but he sucked. Which means we can use him, and we have Chara coming up in the system. He could probably be third pair next year. Iafrate is going to go. Especially if it means we can pull off the blockbuster that I'm currently eyeing up, which involves the Vancouver Canucks and a certain Pavel Bure. I don't know if that'll go through on its own because they don't want to trade Bure, but again, his value is normally maxed out. Pavel Bure, a third and 2/4 on their way to San Jose for Al Iafrate. We still have to re-sign Bure, but we have acquired Pavel frickin' Bure at 26 years old. 71 goals last year. That was a hell of a deal for us. That was one hell of a deal for us. That does mean we're going to have to make certain decisions here. Especially because Brian Ralston's become a first-line player. Meaning Gretzky's probably out because I don't want to get rid of Ralston, which sounds insane, but context matters. We can run Ralston at center, keep Bure, Falloon, Doan, and Barnaby, which will be sick. But that does pretty much mean there's no chance of us re-signing Wayne Gretzky at this point in time, unless something changes. Can I get anything for Bader? No, I can't. Defensively, really quickly. Rick Natras. It's kind of a no-show in the playoffs, but he was good in the regular season. Can I get anything for him? No. Can I get anything for Bob Rouse? No. What about Ian Moran? I kind of want to keep Moran because he's still a little bit younger, even though he was bad in the playoffs. Then again, he's not going to get much better. So if we get rid of Ian Moran, a medium 9, a 5th round pick, a high bottom 6 isn't terrible. Honestly, I'm not against taking a future 5th rounder. Shout out to Ken Reggett. We'll take that 5th round pick from the Sabres. Can I get anything for Drake Barahowski? A medium 9 dude named Peverly will do that too. Can I get anything for Doug Huda? No, I cannot. Any advice to avoid penalties when learning this game? Oh boy. Don't try to stick lift because it doesn't work as much as it should. Don't poke check when you're behind somebody. Don't poke check when you're beside somebody. Only poke check if you're back skating and looking right at them. And aside from that, pray. Because that's how penalties work in this game. Just pray. I don't think we're going to really be able to get anything with anybody else here. But trade away like Barahowski and guys like that because they're not going to get much better than they are. And we can find veteran filler. Not really too much to do there. We're keeping Brian Rafalski for the moment, too. Yeah, no trades for Rafalski. Okay, so the right side, in theory, should be good. The left side is now a danger. I do have an idea for what to do at center because there was another player that we could get to really push this team over the limit. He's currently unsigned, but that means his value is as low as it's going to be, and it's Rod the Bod. In terms of dudes we're looking to move, Dave Gagne sucked in the playoffs. If we can swap a signed Dave Gagne for Rod Brindamore, we'll be good to go. And there it is, Rod Brindamore and 2 late-round picks for Dave Gagne. An absolute steal. However, With Brindamore, it's probably more of a sign and trade, or we give up Brian Ralston, and I'm not sure yet. But we do also know that Wayne Gretzky's going. But Brindamore just made too much sense for a sign and trade, because we don't really have rules for this one. So if I were to deal Wayne Gretzky, 4th and a 5th seems to be the going rate. David Vaborny was out there. You know what? I'll send him to the Rangers. Rangers are interested. Thomas Holmstrom in a 6th or a 4th and a 5th. We're going to send Wayne Gretzky to the Rangers. Now, technically, I could sign Wayne and then flip him, but if we're already going to do that with Brindamore, I'm not too excited about it. So there's still a lot more to do, but we're not going to know the full picture until after the offseason. So I'm hesitant to make any other trades. We now have a bunch of kind of mid-round picks where we might be able to find some steals here and there. But we have, at least for the moment, added Pavel Bure and Rod Brindamore to this roster. And let's see if draft-wise there are any steals. We have a guaranteed medium elite goalie in Rocky Wengranowski. 3 out of 4 low elite defenseman Thomas Ackerstrom. Guaranteed medium 4 Mario Jacques. It wasn't a guaranteed starter anyway, but there is a 3 out of 4. Right wing side, guaranteed medium elite Brendan Mason. Left wing side, no guarantees. And then for centers, a medium 6 in Watkins. So out of our listed players, it's obviously going to be Wengranowski or Mason. We're going to go for Mason, a medium elite. Forward will have more value than a medium elite goalie, in my experience. I'm not really worried about Wengranowski developing. So Brandon Mason, 55 overall medium elite at 20 years old. Calgary is actually interested in trading this pick. So let's see if we can get the goalie too. See if this is enough. And it is. So we'll end up with both guaranteed medium elites. That'll give us some more trade value to work with. Quick and easy as we'll take Wengranowski. Both those guys are absolutely terrible, but they'll have some trade value. Round number 4. It's either Watkins or Jacques. Almost doesn't matter. Let's go for Watkins. Can I trade again? Yes, I can. We'll get Jacques. Make it simple. I give him like a 7th rounder down the road. Yeah, there we go. In this reality, because there's only 24 picks in a round, the AI just do not know what to do about draft pick value. This will help us pull off other trades if we have to. We also have Timo Oliveira. Is a medium starter. And that is our last pick of the draft. Again, it's a draft we don't really have to care about anymore because there's not any real dudes. But we did our damage through trading. Again, Rod Brindamore's here. Pavel Bure's here. We do have to re-sign them. Let's see here what that's going to look like, again, in a non-salary cap space. Byron Defoe can go. You were trash. We can sign Rocky Wengranowski and Teemu Oliveira. Potentially immediately trade them. Felix Potvin was good for us in the playoffs, though. No reason to not bring him back. Defensively, obviously going to qualify Pronger and Ozelinch. Natras, Richardson, Rouse, Doug Huda. They can all go for now. Eakins, even Link Gates, we'll let go of for now. We'll qualify Tamander. And we'll sign Mario Jacques for the moment. Right wing side, Pavel Bure. Let's go 13.5 for 8 years. And the money's made up at this point. No salary cap. Qualify Ralston. Qualify Falloon. Qualify Barnaby. And sign Mason. Left wing side, we will qualify Naslund. Shatan, Simon, Hoagland, Breland. Johnson can go. Arvidsson can go. We can technically sign Steve Correa for now. Why not? Steve Correa, the GOAT. And then centers, Rod Brindamore. Can't even guarantee we're going to keep him. But we are going to re-sign him to big money. I guess for that reason, you could say make it a one-year deal, and then that way he might be acquirable later on. So, but we do know that we're keeping Bure. So LaPierre, Metropolitan, Ted Drury can go. Max Savad needs his ELC. Danny Briere can't be signed yet. Stefan Yell can stay. John Madden Football can stay. And we can sign Ross Watkins. So Pavel Bure has signed with us for 8 years. Potvin's back. Brindamore has signed the 1-year deal. Jacques, Mason, Wengranowski, Watkins. We're good to go. So we pulled off the deal. Pavel Datsyuk is not the only Pavel on the team anymore. Pavel Bure, after a 71-goal season, is on this team. The big question now is free agency and what happens with some of these RFAs. Obviously, a lot of them that have been in the minors have signed, but we still have a lot to do here. This team's going to look drastically different than the team that just failed horrifically in the playoffs.